Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Amanda. So I'm coming on to share a message that came through last night. It felt really profound and there's a lot of energy connected with it. So I felt very compelled to share this message publicly. So the Taurus new moon yesterday was a very, very powerful new moon, and we are in this big portal of manifestation right now, a 2-week portal. There's a lot of Jupiter and Venus energy. There was this very special conjunction yesterday on the new moon with Venus and Jupiter, which are the great benefics, which I feel is why this message is coming through so profoundly as well. So it's a message probably going to resonate mostly with the divine feminines, and healers and all sorts of spiritual empaths on this journey, but mostly associated with the feminine energy. But we have this beautiful Taurus energy working with us, which is all about anchoring into earth, right? And we have this 2-week portal. There's some other conjunction, I think through May 26th, there's some other conjunction with Jupiter, which is the planet of expansion and good fortune. So there's a lot of that energy, and then the Venusian energy of love, beauty, fertility, creation, abundance. So it's all going to weave and connect. And the message that came through, which I'm going to elaborate on, and I have some oracle cards here as well, was shifting from high priestess to empress. So during this portal, we are really being called to anchor in to earth our desires. And it feels, I'm not gonna lie, it took me several takes to get this video going because the energy just felt so powerful and profound and game-changing. It may not sound so game-changing, but if you resonate with this and if you really feel into the energy, the palpable energetic shift that is happening, and I'm going to get into the deeper implications of what this means, but it's a big shift, and we have this 2-week portal to really anchor it in. The Gemini new moon coming up also has this beautiful conjunction. So we have a very rare portal, a portal within a portal, but between these two new moons, we have this additional portal. And of course, we just exited eclipse season, and eclipse season opens up like a 6-month portal always. So there's always, we feel the energies of the eclipses for 6 months. So for a lot of reasons, we have this very beautiful energy that is being amplified to really call us to manifest and anchor in our manifestations, but our true desires, and allowing that to be our earthly desires is what is really coming through. And what is it that we really want to experience here on earth in this lifetime, in this incarnation? So this is connected. The message that came through that I got was that we're graduating. If this resonates with you, we're even graduating from high priestess to empress. And it feels like a graduation because yes, the Empress is the queen of all queens. She is the queen of all the elemental realms. So all of the different queens, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles are associated with a particular element. Now the Empress is associated with being all of them. She is the queen of the entire elemental realm. So it gives a lot of Queen of Heaven and Earth energy when we anchor in the High Priestess into this energy, when we integrate the High Priestess energy into the Empress energy. And this is, I think, why it's so profound and why, oh my gosh, I mean, as I'm thinking about this more and more, it's landing ever more deeply. It's taken me all morning to kind of integrate and to kind of anchor into myself. Yes, we've also had a lot of X-class flares blasting the planet, with very high frequencies. So we're clearing out the old and allowing this new energy to come through. But the high priestess is very much, they're both divine feminine energies, the high priestess and the empress. The Empress is the ultimate divine feminine of, the earthly realms, right? So she is this motherly, nurturing energy. She is deeply abundant. She's associated with beauty. And of course, her zodiac sign, the zodiac sign associated with the Empress, is Taurus, and we're in the Taurus new moon. Again, the more I anchored into this message, the more profound it felt. And the high priestess is associated with the moon, with Cancer. So she's got the Isis moon crown, and she's got a crescent moon in the typical tarot. I apologize, I don't actually have the traditional tarot deck, and my non-traditional one is packed away. I've been in transition, so I don't actually have that deck handy. It would be a different image anyway. But if you look at the traditional tarot, she's between the two pillars, and she is deeply integrated in who she is. There's no denying that. But she is, master of the realm of the subconscious and the integration of the light and the dark. But the moon is very much the mystery and represents illusion a lot of the time and emotions. So there's a lot of this subconscious energy associated with it, and some would even say she's more associated with the dark feminine, while the Empress would be the lighter aspect of the divine feminine, if you will. So I'm just kind of, intuitively weaving in the messages that I've received with what these all represent and whatnot. So the high priestess is intuition and deep mystical wisdom, spiritual wisdom. So of course the high priestess is associated with esoteric wisdom and knowledge. She would be associated with temples and, being the oracle back in the day. So perhaps if you're resonating with this message, you have had past lives where you've been a high priestess, a priestess, an oracle, a shaman, a healer, a medicine man or woman. It could be both genders, but a lot of lifetimes perhaps where you have been a spiritual guide or leader in those lifetimes. And what landed for me, and I must give credit to the beautiful reader on YouTube, the Rare Gazelle. Reem, thank you so much for your beautiful sharing and wisdom, and her messages are beautiful. I resonate very deeply with them, and we're both deeply connected, it seems, with Ishtar Anana, which is perhaps why I resonate so much with her. But this message was precipitated by a reading that I had tuned into with her, where she was getting this message about being the healer in past lifetimes and not necessarily needing to be that role in this lifetime. And, we're at this threshold, this very pivotal point right now during this portal of manifestation, I suppose you could even say, where we're really being called to get absolutely crystal clear with what it is we want for this next phase, this next cycle of our life, because we're ending a lot of cycles. That eclipse was a big one, and there are cycles within cycles, to be sure, but we are being called. And I did pull cards 2 nights ago, which felt very, very applicable. When I pulled the cards back out for this, I was like, whoa. So when I pulled cards 2 nights ago, the eve of the new moon, this card came out, the Crumbling, which is associated with the Tower, of course. What are you clinging to? But I really see it as this threshold into this new, joyful, abundant reality. And, it's not that we have to leave behind any of our wisdom from the past, but it could be that is not the experience that we're wishing to have in this lifetime or in this next cycle of our being. And what I feel that message was really calling us into was making it okay. And that's not exactly how I want to say it, but like validating that this is the time to allow ourselves to enjoy life, to allow ourselves to have all that we want, to be all that we want. And if our primary desire at this time is actually more connected to the earthly realms, as in, you know, having a family and building a beautiful home and just being in love and in the frequency of joy, that is a beautiful gift to the world as well. And I just feel that for me, as soon as I gave myself permission to claim that as my primary desire, and that doesn't necessarily have to be your desire, even if you resonate with the message here, but when I gave myself permission to really acknowledge that to myself, that that's my primary desire, and yes, I have beautiful visions and deep knowings that I am here to create and birth into the world, not just babies, but not just babies, but also other, you know, physical creations that are meant to come through me. But as soon as I acknowledge that actually I would love to have that experience as well, because perhaps in other lifetimes, as a spiritual teacher who was the guardian and keeper of the mystical wisdom and the temples and in the mystery schools, perhaps we couldn't have families. Perhaps we couldn't have that experience. And it was a sacred calling, a sacred path that kept us in that realm, because that is how our world has been. Spirituality and materialism have been entirely separated. And so now what we're being called to do is bridge the two and merge the spirituality into the material by becoming the Empress, by stepping into our Empress energy and birthing this new reality into existence through us. The Empress is often depicted as being pregnant, and I've even seen depictions of the Empress where her pregnant belly within is actually the earth. It's a world. And I'm just always astonished by the synchronicities. Like, jaw has been dropping left and right since the eclipse in particular. It's been like one massive synchronicity in my life. But I pulled out this one deck, and just sitting there in this group of cards from, you know, last week was this card right on top. It was on top. And I was like, you can't get more Empress than that. But also, this is very much a Mother Mary energy to me. So she is that holy, sacred, divine vessel. And this is that bridge between realms that I'm talking about. And I just got chills. I even got a little choked up. This message feels so profound. Like, I can't even tell you how many times I've felt stuff in my throat chakra in the last 24 hours, but also just like, woo, like I couldn't even start this video. But we see the earth right in the center of this rose, and the rose is Venus, where we're really anchoring in this Venusian energy. The ruler of Taurus is Venus. We're anchoring in this Venusian energy right now, connecting with this really, really potent Empress energy. And she is just gazing over it lovingly like a mother, the mother of the world. And so I feel that many of us divine feminines are being called to step into this really integrated aspect of ourselves, where we are both the high priestess and all of the queens, and that makes us the Empress. That allows us to really become the ruler of our reality, the creator of worlds, the creator of our world. And it is a beautiful energy to embody. It is anchored, it is embodied in who we are. And it's that kind of energy that is in total receptivity as well. So this is the epitome of the divine feminine. She is the mother, and she is the nurturer, and she is experiencing and receiving and appreciating all the beauty and abundance of this earthly realm, of the elemental realm, of this miracle of life, but she's also the birther of the miracle. And so perhaps in past lives, we've been anchoring in this wisdom and this knowledge, and simply our frequency of being is activating other people. We don't necessarily have to be the healer in this lifetime. I have to say, I am a healer, and I have never felt called to actually conduct healings for people. I have done some healing trainings, and there are more that I would actually like to do to integrate and embody that myself. You know, I can access a certain degree, but I've honestly been frustrated a little bit that I haven't been able to access more. And there's a lot of layers to that. My story is one that I will share more of, but a lot of this spiritual warfare, psychic attack type energy kind of stuff as well. So I feel I've been protected, but you know, there's also this aspect that landed in the last 15 hours or so, let's call it, where I released this need to be that in this lifetime. Like, I felt like I was failing because I didn't or I wasn't doing enough, because I wasn't feeling that strong call to hold that kind of a space, because what I'm feeling called to do in this lifetime is equally important but different. I don't have to actually, I am a healer just by me being. People get activated by my frequency, I've realized. And so perhaps some of you might resonate with that. But right now I'm being called more into the teaching and that mentorship aspect. And I feel that that is equally important. And, you know, I have other things that I am here creating. And as soon as I gave my permission to claim the desire of wanting to experience joy above all, and love above all, and to bring in beautiful beings into the planet, as soon as I allowed myself to place that as the primary importance, guess what happened? My vision anchored in even more deeply for all the rest of the things that I would like to create in this lifetime, which are big things. It just landed as a deep knowing, like, oh, that makes so much sense. And I just had big chills. So, and the synchronicities are wild, but Reem, the rare gazelle, used this phrase, a portal to wholeness. I believe that was the phrase that she used. And back in 2019, healing back to wholeness was the phrase that came through to me. This was the journey of embodiment that was meant to come through me, but also that I had to go on. I knew I wasn't there yet. I knew what the vision was. I knew what the mission was in some capacity, but I also knew I wasn't there yet. And so healing back to wholeness is what has been my guiding light this whole time. And the portal into wholeness was really just acknowledging that I am here for not just being a boss babe. I never wanted to be a boss babe, which is what a lot of the things are calling us into. You know, to be successful, you've got to do XYZ, and the whole, I don't know, there's just a lot of distortion I feel with feminism as well. And yet we're in this very interesting pivotal moment where many of us are being called to step into that role of nurturing, to step into that role of motherhood. And it could be that being a mother isn't actually, you know, by birthing babies through your womb. It could be that that nurturing role is mothering humanity right now. But there was this sense of release, of releasing the burden of having to be a certain thing, where everything finally anchored in, and I felt a sense of peace that I felt has been eluding me. And I'm going to get into these cards quickly that I pulled, because this is already longer than I anticipated, of course. But it felt like a very important message. So these are the cards that I pulled on the new moon. And I'm sharing them because I feel that they connect and weave this message very beautifully. So Council of Light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. So we're also being called to remember that we're not doing this alone. Our higher self and our multidimensional aspects of self are all here to guide and assist us. And remember that we are vessels of God consciousness, whatever term that you source, higher consciousness, whatever term you resonate with. We are not alone doing this. So we're being guided and supported through all the synchronicities, through all the divine alignment. We are being very, very much guided. And then the one that came out next was this tower, the crumbling. What are you clinging on to? What are you ready to let go of? What is that old energy that you are ready to fully leave behind? Because the eclipse took it out, but there's been some residue. I don't know about you, but I'm like, no, I'm not doing that energy anymore. But I've had to really like put my foot down with it, you know? Mirror, who or what is triggering you? So I did have a couple videos back, this whole video on mirroring and being a mirror for other people. Okay, so this isn't just about the triggers, but it's like what it's like to be a mirror for other people and to get projected onto a lot. So if that resonates with you, you might want to check out that video. But the final card that came out from the Work Your Light deck, to be clear, this is Rebecca Campbell Work Your Light deck. Warrior woman, have you answered your deepest calling? And this is where it really clicked for me, actually, because this was kind of sitting at the top. It was in reverse order because I put them back, but not like in the deck. What is your deepest calling? It might not actually be a professional calling right now. It might not actually be what you're here to do in your career, whatever that looks like, you know, as a healer, as a leader, as a way shower, as XYZ entrepreneur, whatever it is that you're feeling called to do on that level. What is your deepest calling right now? What is your deepest desire? I feel is what we're being called to really allow ourselves to step into. And then when I pulled out the deck, this was at the bottom. So I didn't go any further than this because Anna, grandmother of Jesus, seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. I talk about this card very frequently. So Anna, grandmother of Jesus, was Mother Mary's mother, according to this beautiful channeled work. And she was also, she had like a 900-year-long lifetime because back in the day, they were initiated into the mysteries of existence and could activate all their DNA. And she held that immortality code. And she birthed all of the disciples. They were all cousins. And she knew what the mission was. She knew when she was seated with Mother Mary, she knew what her role was. That eventually Mother Mary would then birth Yeshua, Jesus Christ, Christ consciousness. So she was seeding the blueprint for Christ consciousness through her womb into the planet. And so as we're birthing new earth through us, men and women, I don't mean just through the womb space, we are seeding the blueprint for this whole new way of being and living. So I think a lot of us have to detach from, this is a whole other message, a lot of us have to detach from experiencing what we think heaven on earth is going to look like tomorrow. Yes, we experience it within. So we get to create that within, as within, so without. But it's going to take some time because there is a delay in the material realm for things to be created. Like, it's not exactly easy to build an empire overnight. The American empire has taken 250 years to build and it's about to fall, right? But that's another whole thing. But to think that in like tomorrow or next year, we're all of a sudden going to be waking up in these crystal cities or whatever visions people might have is not grounded, okay? So we're anchoring in the blueprint, and yes, we are starting to build it now. But it's not necessarily going to happen overnight. So that card felt very, very profound to be sitting there at the bottom. And then from the Starseed deck, a whole bunch flew out. Okay. Trust the timing was the first one. So trust the wave you came in on. Time is not running out. So this kind of ties back into that. What is it that you most deeply desire for this next cycle? Knowing that you have time to create it all, because maybe you do want it all. Maybe you do want to have it all and be it all, and that's possible. That, because we are also, 2024 is the realm of infinite possibilities. We are in the realm of anchoring in abundance, but it's also clearing out karma. So there is this, with the 8 energy, it's abundance, it's infinity, but it's also karma. So we're clearing out the slate, cleaning the slate. And what connected also was this clearing the slate to write a new story, to write a new book. Oh, and this is what in that other reading, there was this message about rewriting your records, going in and writing the new story. So it's like this message of writing a new book has been coming through me for months. Writing a new chapter? No, we're writing a whole new book, a whole new story. But writing it into the Akashic records even for ourselves. That's pretty powerful. That's pretty profound. And so trust the timing that you get to experience exactly what you are here to experience, and you get to experience all of it. If you want to have that like normal life, that normal experience of reality, but we're also anchoring in the beautiful reality. So I'm probably going to do a whole other video on healing the womb and giving birth in a very like physical, literal sense, but it also connects to the non-baby version, because that's what a lot of us have been doing, is healing the womb space. And I feel that as a sacred call, a sacred mission to birth healthy, happy babies through the frequency of love, because they are here to build the new earth too. They're the next generation and the next generation. And they're coming in with higher frequencies, and the way that they do that is through us. So all this work was to see the blueprint, this Anna, grandmother of Jesus card. Again, it doesn't have to be physical babies, but if that is one of your callings, I feel it's a very, very sacred one in this lifetime in particular. So the blue flame was the next one, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. So we've been going through this awakening and integration and activation cycle for a long time. I feel the focus is on the integration right now, so that we can be so anchored and embodied in that Empress energy going forward. We the Hathors, deep love, mother's milk. There was a lot of divine feminine energy coming through the cards too. Remember, this was right there at the top when I pulled out the deck today. And mother's milk, birth as a portal. I keep talking about birth, right? I forgot I had pulled this card. Like, you just can't make this up. And then this was the card that came out. I gotta say, I thought about this card when I pulled out the deck. I think just reminding myself how when I first got this deck back in 2020, the first 5 pulls, I got this card. And it wasn't until the 5th pull I finally recognized the Andromedan energy, which is a very divine feminine galaxy. But I literally laughed out loud when this was the 4th card that I pulled from this deck, because I had just thought about it. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Adventure, say yes to change. So we're writing a whole new story, going on a whole new adventure of what it means to be human, living on this world, perhaps. So weight of the world, it's not yours to carry. Boundaries, let it go. Oh my God. See, this is resonating in a whole different way now, because I literally was told by a healer, it's like you were born with a log on your back and you've been carrying the High Priestess collective forward. Those were 2 separate messages from 2 separate sessions, but now it's like, I don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to carry this forward anymore, because that frequency, that consciousness has been seeded in, so people are resonating with it. They're being activated by it. They're receiving the wisdom. So maybe we don't have to be the thing that we thought we had to be now. Maybe we don't have to be the thing that we thought we had to be at all in this lifetime. And maybe we get to have it all. Maybe we get to be it all. But maybe the priority right now is you, is yourself, and to give her permission to have that. Allow your divine masculine to take care of the rest. And actually, it may shift everything and timelines might speed up once you allow yourself, because it's just how the world works, right? And then, okay, I forgot this is the next card, and I literally talked about divine masculine. I literally did not remember this was the card, and I said divine masculine, Star Brothers, Horus energy, protection, loyalty, safety, trust. Oh my gosh, the more I go through these cards, the more I'm just in awe. So allow your divine masculine to step up and take the lead and take care of you. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, I'm just gonna really quickly wrap up, because those two cards kind of came out separately, and then this whole stack of cards flew out, and I felt like it was kind of a secondary message that was bolstering the first. So earth pulsing, pulse of the mother, slow down, time and nature. So it is Taurus season. Get out, ground. We've had all these X-class flares. Very important to get your feet on the earth. Forge, don't follow, pave a new path. Be the leader you wish you had. And so maybe this is leading yourself into that reality where you get to have it all, where you get to prioritize your desires instead of the desires of, or the needs of everybody else, the collective, right? So a lot of us would identify with people pleaser energy, and being the healer means like a lot of times your needs are not the top priority. But we've got to pour from an overflowing cup. So portal, okay, see, it's perfect. Doors are opening. You decide. Rewards, wild card. Oh my God, what? These messages are resonating in such a different way now. This is insane. You decide. Rewards, wild card. What is it you want? What is it you want right now? You got the love. Hadarian energy, codependency. So maybe that's something that you're releasing. Boundaries, getting clear on your boundaries. But you got the love, kind of that part of it. You got the love. It is time for you to receive the love. You have the love within, but it is also time for you to receive it from everything and everyone around you. As the Empress that you are, you know that is what you deserve. That is what you are worthy of. And then the cosmic heart, devotion, potency. Make your life a moving prayer. So when you're operating in that frequency of having all that you desire and require, you're in a space of overflow, and it is actually a lot easier to give. It is a lot easier to create. It is a lot easier when your needs are met, when your desires are taken care of, and you are operating in joy and love and with a foundation of peace, inner peace. All you want to do is give back. So that portal to wholeness, that portal to fully expressing yourself is in claiming your actual truest desires. And I'm just going to wrap up with this deck once more. Whoopsies. Because this deck, the Lemurian Star Child Oils, or Oracle oil. Maybe you need oils? Work with rose oil, maybe? I don't know. Self-healing, Ruby Ray, birthing the new earth. So I was called to do a water fast yesterday. That's a message coming through a lot of people. When we have these high frequency energies coming in, we might want to actually cleanse, detox our physical body. But birthing the new earth, literally that's the message here. Ruby Ray, birthing the new earth. My niece's name is Ruby. Trust, open your hands, share, and let go. Okay, so here's that overflowing cup, but it's joy of life, joy of life, joy of life. What brings you joy? Do that. Allow that. Allow that. Emergence, celebrate sensuality, joy, right to enjoy, truly living. So you're only truly living if you're truly living in joy, in my humble opinion. And from that space of fulfillment, overflowing cup. So it is time to emerge into the fullness of who you are, into the wholeness of who you are and all of your desires. That is the key to your freedom. Heal the inner child, create inner safety, self-kindness. So when you allow your inner child to step forward and say, this is what I want right now, that's the key to your freedom, is allowing your desires to lead. Wow, I am just blown away and mind boggled by the magic, mind boggled by the beauty of this energy right now. So I hope this resonates with somebody. This is definitely a longer reading and message, but I'm gonna wrap it up, and I do have a new free masterclass coming up, the Body Temple, and I'm gonna link that below. It's next week, and the replay will be available if you happen to see this after that. So go there. I also have a few other things that I'll list below if you want to go deeper and anchor into yourself. This is very much about embodiment. The Empress is about embodiment. So anchoring in, so allow yourself to let go of all the old. But I hope this was resonant for somebody. I so appreciate the likes, subscribes, and comments. Comment if this resonates with you. I so appreciate that engagement. It's not so easy to grow these days, but I really appreciate those of you that are here, and I will see you in the next video. Onward and upward.